Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to West Allis, Wisconsin. Milwaukee Mile in store here tonight. The oldest continuously operated motorsports facility in the world. You guessed it. It's not Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's here at the Milwaukee Mile. Opened in 1905. It was the home for open wheel. 49 years a dirt track. Then it was paved in 1954. And for 60 years was the first stop after the Indianapolis 500 where drivers could redeem themselves at a poor outing at the 500. In addition to Indy cars, the Milwaukee Mile has also hosted Silver Crowns, midgets, even stock cars, Truck Series cars, even the occasional Cup Series test back in the day. But tonight, it's the ground pounders of the TRS Tour Modified Series, and it's up next. Just about 5 minutes left in the practice session. To no one's surprise, it's the 66 of Cody Hargard, fastest so far. Cody's awful quick just about everywhere we go, new to the scene here in the TRS Modified Series. So far, 19 modifieds have taken time here in practice. Going to be a good field tonight. Got 21 that have jumped on the entry list. Not 100% sure if they're all going to run. Actually, looks like Alfie Charon just checking in there. There's his 20th entry. James Kerr in the 75. Not sure if he's running or if he's just watching, but love to see the 75 turn some laps around the Milwaukee Mile. It's going to be a really fun race to watch here tonight. This kind of mimics New Hampshire Motor Speedway, or maybe New Hampshire mimics Milwaukee. Again, Milwaukee, this track's been in business here for quite some time, well over 100 years at this point. Obviously, it wasn't always a paved track, certainly didn't look as modern as it does today. Big characteristics, of course, it is a mile, very flat corners. No banking to really rely on. So you gotta really nail your corner entries. Can't drive it in too deep. Almost using the brake more than anything else to get the car to turn. It's gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited. Interestingly enough, I got my very first iRacing official win here back in spring of 2020. For some reason, it just suits my driving style. Gander Truck Series event. A couple of you guys chiming in on the Facebook side. I have to look at it from my phone, so it is working if you chat in on the Facebook side. I just have to view it as if I'm one of the viewers. It does not show up in my feed. So if you want me to see it a little bit quicker, view the stream from the YouTube side. Or just don't talk to me. I mean, I guess those are options too. But I like when you guys interact. It helps, especially when it's just me up here in the booth. I don't have my buddy Eric Dotson alongside to help me out tonight, so solo show. We'll get by. Well, practice about a minute left before we dump into qualifying here. Let's Give a big thanks to our sponsors, of course, TRS, theracing-school.net. It is, after all, the TRS Modified Series. Essentially, it's a racing school out at Stafford Speedway. Stafford? Thompson. I'm screwed up. Either way, check them out at theracing-school.net. You go out and drive a real race car, whether it's a full-body stock car or modified, you get to turn laps. You guys can pass. I know a lot of the racing schools out there that are open to the public. They don't let you make passes, so give them a check. Springtime, see what they got to offer, and put yourself behind the wheel of a real race car. Of course, Litchfield Specialty, LSI, associate sponsor here at the TRS Modified Series. Dixon & Sons Trucking Incorporated for all your big rig trucking needs. Sudath Taxidermy, competition quality at a commercial price. Contact award-winning taxidermist James Sudath at 636-544-7836. Checkered flag on the session. Cody Harger finishes up top of the board. Alfie Charon didn't put a whole lot of laps in, but man, he was close, half a tenth. So was the 4 of Joe Marks, Dustin Painter, just over half a tenth. Really, those top 10 guys, all nice and close. Cody Harger may be one of the first to hit the track for his qualifying laps. See if the 66 can back up his practice time. First lap for Cody Harger, not the fastest. 30.018. We'll see if he can pick it up here on lap number 2 with a little bit of heat in those tires. Down low, right on the white line, a little bit on the curbing. Lap number 2 for Cody Harger, 29.926. Hits the inside wall afterwards. That's good enough for 5th fast. Looks like Buckley right now on pole. Dan Butler on the track. First lap for Butler of 29.96. A good time for the number 7? No. 18. 7th quick on the board, but lap 2 crosses the line. Butler is checking in with a 29.86, puts him top of the board. Pole position provisionally here for the 18. Dan Butler, 29.86 seconds, just a hair quicker than 2nd and 3rd. Buckley was a 100th off, so was Alfie Charon. Marks was 200ths, Painter 200ths. Man, these guys put down some pretty tight times all the way back to the 7th spot, less than a 1/10 of a second of a difference. Mike Taschereau out there now, his first lap of 30.063. See if Mike can pick it up here on his 2nd lap around. Second lap for Taschereau, not quicker, a 30.23. Pete Woodrum coming off turn 4 to complete lap number 2. His first, a 30.37. Picks it up, 30.53, 17th on the board. Mike LaJoy heading out on the track here to start his qualifying. Lap 2 for LaJoy, 29.958. I guess first lap didn't count. 8th starting spot for the 29 Mike LaJoy. Top 10 starting position for him. Looks like everyone out there really is taking a time, except for maybe Tom Melnick and Greg Jones. Not sure if they're just skipping qualifying or, again, maybe spectating. Nonetheless, pretty solid field here tonight from Milwaukee. At least 19 cars took time in qualifying. We've got 2 more left that maybe will run. That gives us a 21-car field. Not too shabby. Hard to say if the Milwaukee Mile was built and then everything kind of built up around it between the fairgrounds, so to speak, and the houses in the area. It was just kind of built smack dab in the middle of everything, but it looks cool. It's a great racetrack. It's fun to run. It's difficult. It's challenging. Great place for these modifieds to run. Kind of reminds me of a much more refined Oswego Speedway. That's not to give any knocks to the Steel Palace. That place is fantastic to go to, and if you've never done it, you got to go. And if anybody in iRacing land is listening, please scan Oswego Speedway. Got to do it. Place is rough and tumble. It's bumpy. But man, is it fun to watch these tour mods get around it. So Joe Marks has stayed out on the track. Going to take advantage of the leftover qualifying time to burn a couple of laps for some practice. Nothing wrong with that. Shane Wagner checking in the stream chat. Jamie Kerr, same thing. Hello, gentlemen. I think Jamie's a dude. I don't even know, to be honest. I think he is. Oh, Jamie. Yeah, okay. Qualifying officially a 10-minute session here this afternoon. So we're going to take a few minutes to take a quick break. Everyone run to the restrooms and get it out of the way now. Grab a cold beverage and come back and settle in for the Milwaukee Mile. The TRS Tour Mods are next. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, here from the Milwaukee Mile. Practice is over. Qualifying just about in the books. Everybody's taking their time. Jamie Kerr in the stream chat again. They need to scan Orange County and Caraway, North Carolina. Never been to either of those tracks, but definitely heard about them. A whole lot of great short tracks out there that could really benefit being into the iRacing service. And a partial to Oswego. It's only a few hours, not even a few hours, a couple hours from my house. So make the pilgrimage up there at least once a year if we can, and watch those guys put on a good show. But yeah, Jamie, sorry about that, man. I assumed it was you. Wasn't 100%. It's tough to get to know everybody in every league. The Monday, Tuesday league I run with, I race with them on Sundays. It's 3 nights a week for almost 2 years now, and I'm just now finally getting it. Takes some time. Time to grid everyone up. Let's go through our starting field. On the pole position, Dan Butler with the Racing School, the number 18 machine. He will start from the pole. Josh Buckley to his outside, the number 13 on the outside front row. Alfie Charon, the number 78, looked real strong last week. And Joe Marks in the 4th spot in the number 4. Dustin Painter, the number 65, always a top 5 contender, starting in row 3 on the inside. To his outside, these two seem to start and race together most of the time. It's the 6 of Cody Harger in the 66. James Kerr, Jamie, we're just talking to you, starts in the 7th position with Black Acid Custom Racing. Mike LaJoy in the 29 will start 8th. Joe Gother, hope I'm not butchering that, in the 67, he starts 9th. Cody Fogg is 10th. Shane Wagner will start from the 11th position in the number 26. Rob Higgins in the 40 with Higgins Hill Racing will start outside row number 6. Starting 13th, Mike Taschereau in the 33 and Ben Choate in the 21. Bill Voracek starts 15th. Brian Torcha in the 2 with OG Racing. He rolls off 16th. 17th starting spot, Bob Higgins in the 43 with Pete Woodrum to his outside. In the 8 starts 18th. 19th is Clayton Jones. 20th, Tom Melnick. And it looks like that last starter there, Greg Jones, is not taking the green, just here in a spectator's role. We're getting ready to go under green here. Pace car, lights are off, about ready to hit the pit lane. Stragglers at the back of the field, but the pace car is in. We wait on the flag. Green's in the air. Gas is down. Butler is away. Buckley to his outside. It's like Alfie Charon gets a good start in there pretty close. Going to maybe take the position away from the 13 as Dan Butler rolls through turns 1 and 2. A little contact back in the pack, but everybody gets through it clean. Dustin Painter making a move already up to the 4th position, looking for a 3rd, but we do have a yellow.
Got you loud and clear. I don't know why you can't hear.
Looks like maybe Mike Taschereau, Ben Choate.
And not hear him call that caution. You need to check your radio connection. Check the one on your headset, on your headboard actually, on your left-hand side, on your headrest. 1, 2, 3, loud.
Uh-oh. What's going on? Looks like everything froze. All right. SDK just did an update this afternoon, and I'm having some issues, at least as far as the replay is concerned. I apologize. We can't take you back to that just yet. Give it another try here momentarily, see if we can get her to work. Give it another try. Yeah, that ain't right either. Well, at least we'll get to see it here. Don't know what's going on with that. It's duplicating that graphic and everything else. But either way, Mike Taschereau in the 33. Where is Mike? Back that up a little bit further here before we go back under green. This is entry to turn number 3. Almost a 3-wide thing here. Yeah, looks like the 21 gets turned by maybe Bill Voracek. Sends the 33 of Taschereau up. 2 squeaks on through. Ben Choate just caught as the meat in the sandwich. Yeah, I gotta fix that.
Flag.
Having some technical difficulties, guys. Bear with me. We'll be back with you in just a moment. We went green, but it's not showing it. All right, we got that squared away. Not sure why that's happening. Something to do with the overlays. My apologies. Under green here at Milwaukee. Lap 5 of 60 in the books. Alfie Charon still the leader. I say still, but he's gotten around the pole sitter of Dan Butler, the number 18. Machine rides in the second spot with Dustin Painter in third. Josh Buckley, Cody Harder, your top 5. Ooh, little wiggle out of the 13. They get through. Cody Harder slides past on the low side. Cody Harder up to the 4th spot. 13 to Josh Buckley. A little issue there, but gets away. Loses a spot or 2. Looks like Joe Marks has snuck into the 5th position as well. That number 4 machine. Field getting pretty well strung out here at Milwaukee. Back up front, though, Alfie Charon still is your leader, but Dustin Painter worked his way up into the 2nd position. Meanwhile, Cody Harder all the way up to 3rd from his 5th place starting position, 6th place starting position. Right on board here with Cody Harder as he looks ahead at our 2 leaders, Dustin Painter, Alfie Charon. Painter looking to the inside, wants the lead here. Cody drove it in deep there, almost got to that Nerf bar in the back. Cody way low, looking down in turn number 1, backs out of it, lets Painter take the position down low. Meanwhile, Dustin working on the 78. Watch it from Painter's point of view, the roof cam on the number 65 as he tries to take over the lead. Painter not giving up. He's gaining some ground in through turns 1 and 2. Looking back at the field from our leader, Alfie Sharon out of Putnam, Connecticut, the 78. Continues to lead, looking at Painter, Harder, Marks, and LaJoy in the top 5, but looking low is Dustin Painter for the lead. Down all the way to the apron through turns 1 and 2, still hasn't completed the pass. Alfie Sharon with the outside momentum continuing to lead. Cody Harder might take the 2nd spot now away from Dustin Painter, but Dustin battles back. Are we going to have a 3-wide battle for the lead here off turn 4? Not. Cody loses the spot, maybe a little bit of ground to the 78. Dustin Painter, Cody Harder, Joe Marks all in the mix here, the top 4. Mike LaJoy wanting to get a piece of it here as well. A little wiggle from Cody Harder, gathers it up, doesn't hit anything, continues on, still in the 3rd position, but has lost a ton of ground to Dustin Painter. We're talking maybe 10 car lengths. Top 2 all together in through turns 1 and 2. Alfie Sharon still with the lead. Dustin Painter 2nd. Dustin's up 3 positions from starting. Really, our top 4, a whole bunch of movers. Up 2 for Sharon, up 3 for Painter, 3 for Harder, 4 for LaJoy. Looking further back in the 6th spot, Shane Wagner, he's up 5 positions in the 26 machine. Battle going on back here with Buckley, LaJoy, Wagner, and Marks. Marks was up in the 4th spot there recently, but has slid back. I don't know if he had an issue on track, got the car loose, what happened. But either way, 4 of Marks running in the 7th position here, lap 17 of 60. Mike LaJoy, the high side, the number 29. Shane Wagner, the 26 down low. Looks like he's going to complete the pass off turn 4. Little wiggle again. Looks like from the 4 of Joe Marks. So far, keeping it off the wall, but the 4 struggling with the handling on that number 4 red machine. Back out front, though, Alfie Sharon starting to pull away from Painter and Harder. Last lap for the top 2 within 1/100th of a second, but the man on the move right now, Cody Harder. Last lap was a 29.95, fastest car on the racetrack. Battle to watch right now is for the 2nd spot, though. Dustin Painter, Cody Harder battling it out. Cody looking to the inside turn number 3, down low, has the position on the 65. Dustin trying to battle back on the high side, but the 66 of Harder is going to clear Dustin off of 4. No crossover today. 66 puts about a car length and a half back to Dustin Painter. Looking forward to the 78 of Alfie Sharon. Not too far back. Again, Cody Harder at 29.84 to Alfie's 29.85. All that during the battle with Dustin Painter, but Painter ran a 29.77, so he was quickest of that trio up front. Cody was taking another look to the inside of the 78, but not close enough to make a move at this point. We saw this battle happen last week between Cody and the 78 of Sharon. It was back and forth for a while. Cody was in the lead. Sharon got by with some contact with Cody in another machine. Alfie was the gentleman and gave it back. He really didn't have to, but said over the radio, didn't want to get the pass that way. Go ahead and go by me, and let's fight this out like a bunch of men. They certainly did that. Cody ended up victorious, but Alfie was showing the better part of valor that day. 23 laps in of 60 here in the Milwaukee Mile. Short race, but still 60 miles around this place. You got to get it done. You still got to run all the laps, keep the car underneath you, keep the tires in good shape. Harger with a look to the inside down the front straightaway down into turn number 1. He's got position again on the 78. Looks like he's going to clear Alfie Sharon off turn number 2. Dustin Painter is able to catch up with all this exchange of position up towards the front. Top 3 under a blanket. They work into turn 3. Our race leaders, the top 3, Harger, Painter, and Sharon, are in a league of their own right now, running some seriously quick times around the Milwaukee Mile and putting a gap on the rest of the field. It's up to 2 seconds back to 4th place. Josh Buckley, number 13. Joe Marks has recovered slightly here. He's back up into the 5th position after some handling issues earlier on. Cody Harger continues to lead, up 5 spots from qualifying over Alfie Sharon, Dustin Painter, Josh Buckley, Joe Marks, top 5 unchanged over the last couple of laps. Couple of laps shy of halfway. You see Rob Higgins in the 40. Shane Wagner, the 26 machine, still running in the 7th spot. Down a position from last time we checked in. Joe Marks taking a look to the inside of the 13. Josh Buckley trying to defend that 4th position, but the 4 handling starting to come back for that red machine there. Had some issues early on, but has gathered it up. Still running top 5, but putting pressure on the 4th place machine. Taking a look down the front stretch, maybe the position into turn number 1. He does have it. Seems to be the preferred passing lane here, especially into turn number 1. Caution is out though. Yellow flag.
Guys, just quickly, just remember,
If it was Greg Jones, I'm kind of cautious here to try and use the replay again. It screwed us up the last time. Well, we're going to try it, and if it screws up, I apologize. All right, we'll at least get to see the replay, but I'm going to have to go back and do it the manual way here. Looks like Jones spun off the back stretch here. Let's rewind this a little further because we did see him sitting there for a little while before yellow came out. Not really sure what happened there. Maybe he lost a connection problem or what happened. But replay is ineffective. Well, we're live again. And sorry about that, guys. We'll get that overlay straightened away here. I know they updated it today, so maybe a bug in the system. Leaders are on pit road. Maybe not. Looks like Alfie Charon, Cody Harger, Butler, and Ben Choate stayed out. Everyone else, though, did decide to hit pit lane. Like Alfie Charon has decided to hit pit lane, as well as Dan Butler. A little late in the decision-making process, but Cody Harger and Ben Choate still stick to their guns, stay out on the track. Well, we will see what this means for our leaders, the 66 to 21, Harger and Choate. Ben Choate moved up 12 spots from his starting position of 10th so far, albeit at this point it may be due to the fact he did not pit. Everyone else did. Have to see how important tires really are here at Milwaukee. We're just past halfway. I believe, if I remember correctly, the 66 managed to stay out the entire race last week as well. Push that number 66 home to a victory on the original tires. Monday night in a different series, Cody was running a super late model race, made a pass with about 12 laps to go for the lead, and unfortunately a late caution came out. Everybody except for the 66 peeled off of the racing surface to get fresh tires. Cody still managed a second place finish, but was unfortunately victim to fresh rubber in behind. Curious to see if he can hold these guys off on old tires again. Been a relatively clean race here at Milwaukee so far. Hope to keep it that way. These car about ready to hit the pit lane. Very awkward pit entry here.
Green flag.
It comes to life. Cody Harger in the gas. Ben Choate with a good restart, though. Maybe a little contact there on the restart, but gets away. Cody Harger out to about a 2 or 3 car length advantage over the 21. Clean air is very important no matter where you are, especially a track like Milwaukee. You get plenty of high speed. They're running. Oh, that's inaccurate. It says 97 mile an hour. There's no way it's that slow. We're having trouble here tonight. That is not right. Overlays aren't working properly. We're getting by. Cody Harger, though, he's getting by. He's out front. Half a second already back to the 21 of Ben Choate. Joe Marks, Brian Torcher, Rob Higgins, your top 5. Amy Kerr is up to 6. Dustin Painter, 7th. Bill Gothard, 8th. 9th is Bill Voracek. 10th, Cody Fogg. Watching the battle here for the second spot. The 4 of Joe Marks trying to close in. Joe does have fresher tires. See if he can make the move. A little bit of a block out of the 21 of Ben Choate. Marks holds it down to the bottom. The 21 tries to pinch him a bit. They slide a little wide off turn number 2. Down the backstretch, Joe Marks has the 21 clear. Move the 4 up to the second position. Ryan Torch, the number 2 machine. He runs in the 4th position. Hard to believe it, 22 laps to go here from the Milwaukee Mile. We had 60 to start. We're down to 22. Cody Harder still leads. Parks, Choate, Torch, Painter, your top 5. Pretty clean and green up towards the front. We do have some battling going on near the back of the pack. Not so much the back, but the back of the top 5. Dustin Painter, the 65. He's still in the 5th spot. Rob Higgins, Bill Voracek. A little bit of movement here from the 75 of James Kerr. To work his way around the 9 of Bill Voracek. Jamie Kerr out of Snow Camp, North Carolina. Still the battle for the 7th spot. Jamie Kerr looking to the inside of Bill Voracek. He might have it into turn number 3 here. Jamie Kerr up to the 7th position. Next in line for the 75 is the 40 of Rob Higgins. Oh, trouble off turn number 2. Big wreck down the backstretch. Mike Taschereau, Dan Butler, Alfie Sharon involved, unfortunately for Alfie. Pete Woodrum as well. I don't want to do it, guys, but I'm going to have to try here. Let me see what we can come up with here. It might screw up our overlay for a minute, but we're going to have to figure something out. I know this overlay worked last night, so let's see if it works tonight. No, it's the wrong one. Yeah, it's still locking up. Interesting. And sorry about that, guys. Let's see what happened here with the wreck off turn 2. Ooh, that's the 78 at Sharon, and I'm not sure. I think maybe tell who that was in front of him. Maybe it was Pete Woodrum by the 8. Big trouble off the backstretch here, off turn number 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. At least 4 cars involved. And guys, my apologies on the replay transition. Not working to my liking tonight. Technology is a beautiful thing when it works. Well, here we are. Still at the Milwaukee mile, of course, 16 coming to 15 laps to go. It looks like they might get the one to go at the line. With all likelihood, maybe a restart at the 14 to go mark. If we can get it all the way home without any cautions or trouble. Lights go off atop the iRacing official pace car. Two by two, they're lined up, ready to go back to green here. Gonna get the green here at 14 to go. Just about everybody still in the hunt. Alfie Charon did make pit road, stayed on the lead lap. Alfie's back in the 13th spot. He's got a quick race car. 15 to go. Let's see what he can do with it here. Top two starters here, Dan Butler and Alfie Charon. Mired back in the bottom third of the pack. Race car leaves the track, green flag in the air. Cody Harger in the gas. Good restart again by the 66. Car length and a half back to the field. Dustin Painter, Marks, Higgins, Torture, your top five. Painter looks strong down low, using that apron to get that car to turn. It's a good strategy. It certainly pays off. Oh, trouble in turns 1 and 2.
Pull your stuff.
Cody Fogg, Mike Taschereau, Greg Jones. Re-rack them once again. Need to do it to you guys, but I gotta try it again. I gotta get this figured out. No, I'm just gonna rewind it. Forget it. Just as bad as it locking up. I really don't think it matters at this point. Keep an eyeball on Mike Taschereau. So the 58 of Cody Fogg, it looks like. Cody goes around. We'll back it up one more time here. Can't tell if there was contact there or not. Get a better angle over here. It's the 58 of Fogg and the 9 of Voracek. Voracek, the white car on the outside. Contact made with the right front and the left rear. That's going to send the cars to spin in. They dirt track it for a bit. They might have saved it if there wasn't contact coming in from the Mike Taschereau machine. I think that was Taschereau, yep. In the 33. Everybody else sneaks on by, but there you have it. All right, well, that worked better this time. Still under yellow here. Let's try it. Let's see if it's fixed. It's definitely not. Well, looks like I gotta put a ticket in for that. We'll figure it out though. Field lined up 2 by 2. Looks like we're getting ready to go back to green here. We're going to get it with 9 to go. Lights are indeed off on the pace car. Wait for it.
Green flag.
Green flag in the air. Cody Harger in the throttle. Little wiggle on the gas, though. Spins the tires a bit. Painter down low, trying to block the inside advance of Rob Higgins. Rob's down low, trying to take the second spot away. Slides up the track, contact with the 4. And get away with it off turn number 2. Unbelievably, they continue on. The 4 of Joe Marks, the loser in that situation, unfortunately for him, was 3rd or 4th there and was all the way back. He ended up in the 9th position with 8 laps to go. Battle in the back here with the 75 of Jamie Kerr. This is the back of the top 10, so this is the 7th position. I see Tom Melnick as well. Tom's up 11 spots from the beginning of the race. Tom in that 888 machine. Battle up here with the 75 and the 13, Jamie Kerr, Josh Buckley. 21 of Ben Choate sails it into the corner. Shane Wagner taking a peek to the inside. Wagner's going to pull off the pass here on the 40 of Rob Higgins, move Shane Wagner up into the top 5. Of Cody Fogg. I'll see the 78 of Alfie Sharon again. Ooh, a little wiggle again from Fogg off turn number 2. Straightens it out. Alfie Sharon and Butler in a wreck off turn number 4. Ben Choate involved among others. Maybe Alfie Sharon once again. It certainly looks like it. And for some reason, the 9 of Voracek, it looks like, just comes around and just drills the 78. Yeah, we're going to do the rewind thing because replay button is just not working out tonight. The Alfie Chair in up top, the 78, the white car. I think it's Butler in behind the 18. Cody Fogg, the 58, down low. Tom Melnick in the, looks like a 888 machine. Oh, trouble's starting to happen up ahead of him. Looks like that was between the 4. Joe Marks. All right, let's back it up again. It's a big wreck. All right, so the 4 is the red car down low. The 21, Ben Choate, up in the low to middle lane, kind of crossing over. Both cars make contact. The 21 overcorrects, sends it up the track in front of traffic. Cody Fogg collects the 4. And up ahead with James Kerr, it looks like, in the 13. Big impact with Josh Buckley and James Kerr into the pit lane. Big wreck off turn number 4. So this is, I think this is kind of to the advantage to Cody Harger. Again, he did not pit at the halfway point when everybody else came in and got tires. Might have been 1 or 2 else that did not, but they've since also gotten fresh rubber. I think it was, might have been Alfie Charon. He decided late to pit. But with these extra cautions, those tires that are already worn on the 66, not getting abused, getting a chance to cool off. It's late in the race here. We got 3 to go. I think this is going to be our first attempt at a green-white checker as the lights are still on the pace car. They're going to get the 2 to go, so we are officially in overtime mode here in Milwaukee. All right, we do have a shootout here to the finish. Dustin Painter on the outside. He's your second place running machine. Fresher tires than our leader by about a factor of half. Painter pit, I think it was lap 31. Again, we are in overtime effectively here. Cody Harder has not seen the pit lane since the very start of the race, and we've got some antics in the grass on the backstretch with some back markers. No worries, I think they'll make it work. Field working through turn 4, pace car lights off, getting ready to duck into the pit lane.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag in the air, the field comes to life. Ooh, trouble for 29. Because Mike LaJoie gets clipped in turns 1 and 2. Another big wreck into the backstretch, caution out again. We're going to re-rack them and restack them and try it for another time. Looks like that started with Mike LaJoie. Again, I really hate having to rewind this. It looks terrible, but it is what it is. Well, we're going to watch the 29. The 29 machine, third spot, trying to get underneath for the second spot. Goes side by side with Dustin Painter, makes some contact. Sends the 29 down to the inside, into the apron, into the grass. Looks like he might have it collected and saved, but then it comes back across in front of traffic, and everybody's trying to avoid. Don't know if he gets clipped, but yeah, he does get hit with Cody Fogg. Looks like the 4 and the 37 get a piece of it as well, maybe trying to avoid the 29. But yeah, the rest of them go around there on the exit of turn number 2 on our caution once again. Make it another attempt here with a green-white checker coming up. Well, another green-white checker in store for everyone. Always exciting to watch. See if they can make it to the finish. Second attempt of, I believe, 3. Don't think we are on the unlimited line here. Let me double check. That is the case. Yeah, green-white checkered finishes are set to 3. This is our second. Gonna give it another try. Cody Harder to the inside. Now Brian Torch in the 2 to his outside. Dustin Painter in behind. Now Shane Wagner up in the 4 spot too. Shane was showing some good speed early. Pace car hits the pit lane. Good restart out of the 66. He gets clear at the line. Cody Harder resumes the lead. Now down low, you've got Dustin Painter making a move on the 2 of Brian Torch. We've got trouble again in the turn number 1. Looks like James Kerr, Mike LaJoie again. Second caution that Mike LaJoie is involved consecutively. Sure if he was just innocent bystander there or what happened, but again, we'll rewind it painstakingly. All right, so this is at the restart. We're going to change cameras, maybe get a better angle of it. was entry into one. Back it up another time. Don't like that camera. Not enough to see there, unfortunately. All right, so back in the pack, the 75, the 29 here. Second row from the rear, the 75 inside, the 29 down low. Or up high, I'm sorry. Makes contact on the front straight. Both cars try to save it, but they end up down the inside wall, which is, of course, going to blast them back out into traffic. But it looks like everyone gets through it. There wasn't a whole lot of guys in behind him. Joy slides back up in front of the 75, though, and contact made once again. Again, guys, if you're just joining us here late, we're on our second green-white checker attempt. This will be our third attempt and final attempt. Either going to be checkers or ruckers here that's going to finish it. Again, I apologize. I'm having some issues with the overlays. Everything seems to be working except for that pesky replay button. It locks up and does not work. So either way, we'll get that addressed. I know SDK, that's the overlay company that I use. They had an update here this afternoon. It's fine last night. Nothing's really changed except for on their end, so we'll have to get that straightened out. So that's why we're hitting the rewind button. It's kind of amateur, but it is what it is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here it is, third and final attempt at a green flag finish here. Green flag, white flag, then the checkered flag. Hopefully we don't see a green and yellow or green, white, then yellow, but either way, 66 backing up everyone there. Cars in, green flag in the air. Cody Harger with another good restart here. Gets out and away. Shane Wagner making a move to the outside of the two. Thinks better of it. Off turn number 2. This is the last attempt at the green-white checker. So far, we're clean down the back straightaway. Cody Harger with a big lead and trouble in the back here. Wrecking into turn number 3, big trouble, multiple cars involved. Cody Harger coming to the line. This is going to do it. Yellow flag waving, final lap. Just needs to get back around. That is going to make it an official race. Base car has picked up the field, but we are out of green-white checkered attempts. This one's going to end under the yellow flag. And there you have it, Cody Harger, the number 66 Plasmine Technologies Modified, is your winner here tonight in Milwaukee. No tires for the 66, brought it home as the winner. Everyone else tried to get fresher rubber to make that move and take the victory, but it's not to be. Cody Harger takes his second win in a row. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be back with our top 3. Welcome back to the Milwaukee Mile. The TRS Modified Series is in the books here. 60 laps plus, all said and done. Cody Harger is your winner here tonight. This afternoon, for that matter. Sun is still shining. It's not night in the game or in the iRacing simulator. We're going to go to Cody Harger next here to have a conversation with our winner. Cody, it's Steve Singer in the broadcast booth. Do you got a copy? Cody Harger, Steve Singer in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, man. How's it going?
It's going well, Cody. Just as good for you, if not even better. Another win here in the Modified Series with TRS, the racing school. I think that's 2 in a row. You didn't take tires. Everybody else hit the pit lane, but you didn't even drive by your guys. Tell us about your afternoon.
Yeah, man. Way different than it was last week. Last week I just started out front, and it was just, keep it on the bottom there at Oxford. I didn't really feel like I did much. But then here, I kind of stuffed it up in qualifying, didn't get a good lap down. So started 6th. So I didn't know if I was going to be able to make up any spots. I was kind of thinking if I could get to a top 3, I'd be happy with it. But man, because it is tough to pass here sometimes. And but man, I was running a little bit different line than most other guys in front of me. I could enter in real straight and low, and that was giving me opportunities to get up underneath them. Now it almost cost me a couple times because they'd be arcing in and they get hidden behind the air cleaner in these cars. So it made me nervous a couple times, probably a couple close calls, probably a couple guys that aren't too happy with me, but luckily never made contact with anyone. So was able to get them to slip up and get around them and then hold everybody off that last, 30 laps of the race. The first 30 went by quick, and then the last 30, or really 40 when you consider all the green, white checkers, felt like it took an hour. So glad to come out of here with this is my 3rd win. I've missed a race, but as far as my races go, this is my 3rd in a row. So I love these cars, man, and I like running with these guys too.
Well, it's good on your end, and it's good for the league, honestly. I mean, you get a guy that comes in, he's a little bit quicker, and I say a little bit, Cody, because you look at the practice and qualifying times, we're talking less than half a tenth, all the way back to the 7th starting position tonight. So it kind of gets these guys up on their game. They run a little harder, they try a little harder, they put in more practice time, and it makes for better racing in the long run. So that's certainly awesome to see on your end and for the league's perspective. So that's great to see. As far as the green white checkers go, we had 3 of them, of course. A lot of chaos in behind you in the rear view mirror. You said you didn't make contact with anybody. Great job. Was there any really, really close calls that you were really worried about there, at least with the green white checkers?
No, the green white checkers didn't bother me. And honestly, the way the pit layout here is and where the pace car enters and how right before, their rule is that the leader can fire when he wants to, but the pace car must be on pit lane. Well, basically, as soon as the pace car would hit pit lane, the green light was on. So really, I didn't have a whole lot of options as far, I could maybe get on the gas, a half second before the green lights would come on. And that's what was bunching everybody up. I mean, everybody comes out of the corner, and we're well down the straightaway before we take off. And so it was good for me because when I jumped, I could go. But for everybody behind, bunched up racing, it wasn't good. And that's why we had those, cautions deal there. But so I was fine. My close calls were more when I was trying to get around the guys earlier in the race, and I was pretty certain that not pitting was the way to go. I didn't want to give up track position. I was watching my lap times when I got to the lead, and I was still running 2980s, 2990s, like just basically only a half tenth off of my fast lap from practice. So, and that was, 25, 30 laps in. So I really didn't see the point in grabbing tires, and luckily it worked out.
Well, again, Cody, congratulations. The tire gremlin didn't bite you tonight. Did Monday, but either way, tonight it's victory lane. It's a checkered flag. It's certainly good for the psyche. Congratulations. See you next week.
Thanks, bud.
It's Cody Harger, your race winner. Plasmine Technologies number 66 Tour Modified. Victory Lane, 3rd one of the season. Next, we're going to go to 2nd place finisher, the 2 of Brian Torcha. Brian, Steve Singer in the HBR TV booth. You got a copy?
Hey, I got you, Steve. How's it going, man?
It's going well, man. I think I've asked you this like 3 times, and I keep forgetting. How do you say your last name?
Porsche.
Porsche, like a Porsche?
Exactly.
All right, cool. Brian Porsche, like a Porsche, finishes second, gains 14 spots from where he started tonight. A hell of a run here at Milwaukee. Tell us about your afternoon.
It's definitely my favorite track in those cars. I never really qualify well, but if we get some green flag laps going, my car usually comes to me. So I was kind of hoping for it to stay green at the end, so maybe I'd have a chance. But on those short laps, my car wasn't good.
Yeah, it's certainly a favorite of mine, the Milwaukee Mile. I got my first iRacing win here in a truck about a year and a half ago. It's a good place. It's fun. I haven't even tried it in the modifieds. I know I've done some laps at New Hampshire, and I just kind of wonder, are they very similar to each other, or they drive like completely different animals?
Yeah, they're like kind of completely different. They look similar, but the corners are a lot different for sure. So you kind of drive a little bit more straight in these, hug the bottom. But towards the end, I was kind of going in through the middle and getting a really good run off. So I think it just depends on how your tires were.
Now, speaking of tires, we saw Cody Harger once again stayed out the entire race, did not take tires. You pit at lap 31. I believe you took 2 or 4. Did you take 4?
Just right sides and
Just
a little
right
bit
side.
of gas.
How did the car handle change-wise as far as just putting right sides on it? Was it any quicker? Did it change it significantly, or you think you could have got away with running without?
I probably could have got away with running without. When I took right sides, the set I took off, the right front was still 93%. So I
There you
mean,
go.
I definitely could have made it, but I was just looking for maybe a little bit of an advantage.
Well, either way, again, Cody Harger comes in, gets his 3rd win of the season. You, yourself, Dustin Painter, Shane Wagner, Alfie Sharon, you guys are the front runners, though. You're usually right up there on, and we're talking, I said it to Cody in the interview, less than a tenth, less than a couple hundredths off of that time. So you guys are all right there. It won't take much to change up these finishing positions here in the races going forward in the future. So again, congratulations on the 2nd spot there, Brian. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
Just the league and, all our sponsors, TRS, my cricket mate, Steve Dixon. I know there's a few other ones, Sutter Taxidermy. There's a bunch of them, but just thanks for everyone that helps us.
Litchfield Specialties, the only one you missed, but I think it was pretty good there, bud.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Well, congratulations once again, and see you next week.
Thanks, Steve.
It's Brian Porsche, your 2nd place finisher here tonight, the Milwaukee Mile. Last but not least, we'll go to Dustin Painter, our 3rd place finisher this afternoon from Milwaukee. Dustin, it's Steve in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
I got you loud and clear, man.
Beautiful. Congratulations. Top 3 finish for the 65. I expected at least a 2nd place based on how you ran most of the afternoon, and you really had an opportunity, I thought, to make a move on the 66 of Harger, but it just wasn't meant to be. Tell us about your afternoon.
I needed more green flag laps. It was like I was slowly catching him with the draft, but just not enough green flag laps at the end. But first, I kind of got into Mike LaJoy, the 29. I was looking at the replay right there. I do not like racing like that at all. And I was looking at that. I came down on him. So first and foremost, I need to apologize to Mike. Hate that I did that. I was trying to just get a good run off and get a good position right there, but I pitched him way too far. We made contact and it sent him spinning.
Well, when you're running 140 mile an hour, inches apart, mistakes are going to happen. You're going to make contact. I know it's not always intentional. Most of the time, it's not. These things happen. I'm sure Mike will get over it. As far as tire wear was concerned, I know Cody stayed out the entire race without pitting. Brian only took, I think, right sides. Did you take 4 at the halfway?
I did take 4. Honestly, I think really when the fuel burnt off, it really made the car really, really tight. May have been a good idea to actually fill it up a little bit and make it turn a little bit. Just the no fuel right there at the end, almost, I wouldn't say almost empty, but it was just super tight with new tires.
It's kind of crazy because it's almost the opposite of what you'd expect most of the time. When you have that fuel load burn off in the back, you transfer that weight to the front, it's going to turn a little bit better, but not the case tonight in the modified. Is that kind of typical with these cars?
It can be. It's crazy. I always say you turn your fastest laps in qualifying with a full load of fuel. You take that fuel out, and sometimes just with these cars, it can really make it tight. You can actually put two tires on sometimes and really make it even tighter. But for Torch, it looked like Brian Torch, it looked like it worked out great for him.
Well, either way, you got no tires in the win. You got 2 tires in second and 4 tires in third. So varying strategies across the board, Dustin. Either way, congratulations. A great finish. Top 3. Before we let you go, anybody you need to thank?
Just as always, Danny Bone Motorsports and his sponsors, and then also the racing school. Mike, who races with us here, he puts on a racing school at Thompson Motor Speedway. And when we get warm weather, guys, if you're watching online, go hit him up and race some real modifieds around Thompson Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I made a sponsor plug for those guys at the beginning of the race, and like an idiot, I said it was at Stafford. Yeah, it's at Thompson. I'm a dumb. What are you gonna do? I corrected it, but it's Thompson Speedway, not Stafford. Go check out Stafford once in a while, but yeah, definitely for the racing school, it's Thompson.
Yes, sir.
All right, Dustin. Well, again, congratulations. We'll look forward to seeing you next week.
All right, thank you.
Dustin Painter, your 3rd place finisher here at the Milwaukee Mile. TRS, the RacingSchool.net modified series in the books here from West Allis, Wisconsin. I think it's Allis. I think I'm saying that right. Allis. Whatever. It's the right racetrack, okay? I'm not pulling a DW. Let's go through our finishing results. Of course, we talked to our top 3. Cody Harger, your winner in the 66 with Charger Racing. Brian Torsha, like a Porsche, the number 2 with OG Racing. He finishes in the 2nd position. Dustin Painter, we just spoke with, the 65. Great run. Always seems to be right around that number 66, whether it's qualifying, practice, or the race. Finishes 3rd, had an opportunity there maybe to take the win from the 66, but Brian Torsha gets around, takes the 2nd spot. Dustin Painter finishes 3rd. Shane Wagner, a great run for the number 26 machine, up 7 spots from qualifying. Did some work to get through the field to finish in that top 5 finishing positions. But also I want to talk about Tom Melnick, 5th place runner in the, well, it says it's a 00. I think it was a 888 machine. Tom started 20th. Okay. I think that was technically last because I don't think Greg Jones took the green flag officially. Maybe he came out after the fact, but passed 15 cars to finish in the top 5. And I don't think it was all because of attrition. He worked his way through. He tends to do that quite a bit. A solid run for Tom Melnick in the 888 or modified. 6th place was Dan Butler. 6th place was Rob Higgins. 7th place was Bob Higgins. 8th was Joe Gother. 9th, Josh Buckley. 10th, Alfie Charon. Alfie looked really strong really early as well. Led some laps, was right up front. Got collected in a mid-race incident after kind of taking tires at the last minute on that caution. Put him back with the riffraff, unfortunately, and Alfie gets collected into an incident. Mike LaJoy was 11th. Cody Fogg was 12th. Dan Butler, there he is, finishes 13th. Pete Woodrum, 14th. Clayton Jones, like I mentioned that name all night long. If I didn't, I apologize. Clayton Jones finishes in the 15th position, just making sure the names are right. Jamie Kerr, the number 16, 75 machine, finishes 16th. Bill Voracek in the 9, finishes 17th. Joe Marks, 18th position, 19th. My live timing is completely wrong here. The results you see on your screen are accurate, but on my end, I don't see the rest of these guys sitting in the right spots. It looks like it's Ben Choate and Greg Jones, but Joe Marks in the 4, 19th possibly. It's all screwy. Oh, there we go. No, Mike Taschereau. Now it's moving. Having some troubles again, guys. All right, so yeah, the 18th position was Joe Marks, 19th, Mike Taschereau, 20th, Ben Choate, 21st was Greg Jones. That will wrap it up here from Milwaukee Mile. I'm just going to call it a day because I'm having problems with this thing. I got to get into diagnosing that and make sure things are right for the truck race tomorrow. Please join us at 7:45 in the East for the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Facebook.com/Hollerboys Racing TV and on YouTube, also Hollerboys Racing TV. Still having some issues with the stream chat for whatever reason. Not able to get the Facebook side into the feed as far as you guys talking to me and me saying hi and you asking questions and so on and so forth. So if you're a talkative type and you want to chat with us in the stream, hit us up on the YouTube side, and I'll make sure that we answer your questions, comments, concerns, maybe a little therapy session if you need it, what have you. Either way. Again, I want to thank everyone for tuning in. We did have a pretty good crowd here tonight between Holly Boys Racing TV on the Facebook and YouTube sides. We also multicast this to our race team, as usually we have Carson Conway. Carson Conway is a Holler Boys Racing TV sponsored driver. Runs occasionally, but unfortunately missing due to work obligations tonight. So thank you all for tuning in. Join us again tomorrow, 7:45 in the East, Atlanta Motor Speedway, the My Cricket Makes Truck Series. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time.